Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. So, one thing that's really coming through very clearly for me right now is that this full moon, it's going to be bringing up things in a very heavy and intense way for you that are going to be unavoidable. And if you try to avoid them, it's just going to cause more pain than is worth it, and you're just going to have to go through the thing that you've been trying to avoid, or that you didn't even know you were trying to avoid. This could be an unconscious pattern in you that you hadn't seen until just now. So this full moon and in the days leading up to it, it's going to really test our faith, our trust in source. It's going to trust our courage to truly follow our heart. But if we're able to do this, if we're able to go through the challenging portal of discomfort and growth, then on the other side of it is going to be so much more freedom and spaciousness and just power. Because when we confront those things that are keeping our heart closed, whether that's a difficult relationship, a difficult conversation, maybe it's something at work, something with a friend, your living situation. It could be anything in your life that you've been kind of pushing down the road for another day and been kind of going maybe the passive route. Well, these energies are going to bring that up into your face so intensely that there's going to be no avoiding it anymore. So if you have that difficult conversation that you need to have, if you have something you need to confront, whether within or without, this is going to be the full moon that is really going to make that clear to you, and it's really going to necessitate that you follow your heart and you follow your guidance, even if the mind and the person, the ego, doesn't want it, even if it's not on board. You know, I just had to have a very difficult conversation that my mind and my person definitely didn't want to have. My mind and person would have much preferred that I kept going about my life in a passive way. But if there's anything we know on this path, it's when that energy in your heart starts really coming through, when you can like literally feel like yourself go weak at the thought of not addressing what's in your heart, whether it's with yourself or someone else, you know that you have to just go through that discomfort and that, you know, that temporary pain of maybe it's like a little bit of anxiety or nervousness or just like dread even. Like, I know for me, I was just dreading it a little bit, but as it was approaching, as that moment was approaching where I really had to speak my heart, I knew there was no avoiding it because I'd done this before. I've been down this road before, and I know when the heart, when the kundalini wants to speak through you, and when your heart is open, that there's no avoiding that movement. There's no avoiding confronting that which is keeping your heart closed. Because when we're avoiding something that's keeping our heart closed, we can feel this deadening of energy within us. Like we don't have that spiritual power, you know, we don't have that spiritual juice, we don't have that movement, that connection, we don't feel that connection to source. We don't feel that radiance, that buzzing. But when we confront the things that are keeping our heart closed, no matter how difficult it is, no matter how tough of a scenario that life has put in front of you, you feel that energy start coming back through you again. And you never know what's going to happen when you go through that challenging portal of growth, of confronting that difficult subject that you just haven't had the courage to traverse yet. And for me, I was laying down deep in prayer today because I've been having this, you know, this deadening of my heart center. I wasn't feeling any energy in my heart. And I was just like, whoa, where's the love? Why am I so empty right now? What am I avoiding? What's keeping me closed that I'm not willing to look at? So I laid down and I was in prayer and I was asking God, I want to let me be a divine vessel for you, no matter what that means. saying, God, anchor your love and your peace through me. I surrender, God. I don't care what you ask of me. I am your servant, God. And it was shortly after that that I had this movement to go into that confrontation, to go into that uncomfortable, really kind of unknown type of space with my heart open, and to bring my truth. To not knowing how it was going to be received, and knowing it didn't matter, because the only thing that mattered is that I followed my heart, that I allowed Source, that I allowed God to live through me as me, to bring the divine through me, and to surrender all of my personal desires and personal thoughts about what that looks like and what that means, and just say, God, come through me. Flood my being with your grace, and however that looks, whatever is called on me, whatever you call on me to do, I will do that for you, no matter how difficult that is. And, that can be very difficult for the human. It can be very, very difficult for the mind. There's going to be a lot of resistance there. But just know that this is a beautiful thing. This is how expansion happens. Expansion and growth happen outside of our comfort zone. Every time we speak our truth, when we're feeling uncomfortable, when we're feeling nervous about it, when at other times we would have suppressed it. Every time we speak it and let it flow, and let the divine flow through us, we clear more of those programs that have kept our light smothered, that have kept our light dimmed. When we have the courage to say, I'm no longer going to dim my light, no matter what my external situation looks like, I am willing to accept the consequences of whatever happens, but I am not going to dim or suppress my light. Then we've reached a place of true spiritual power, of true courage. Because anyone we admire on this path, any spiritual being that you look up to and that you see as ascended to this divine place, they have all shined their light uncompromisingly, no matter what. Even so many of them have given their life for the light. In past lives, you have given your life for the light. That's how real this is. That's how real this service is. And that's what you're here to do. You're here to shine your light no matter what. And as you keep opening your heart, one of the beautiful things is you get this flood of divine grace. But your part of the deal is to, as you keep opening it, into more of these programs, into more of these pockets of unconsciousness that need to be cleared by you going through them. You can't go around it. And I do this too. I try to do this little dance. I'm just going to leave it over here. That seems like a really hard conversation to have. Maybe another day. Maybe there's a way I don't need to have it, And you might have your own type of dance that you do with certain things that are unconscious in you, because let's face it, it's hard to alchemize unconsciousness into consciousness. It takes some courage. It takes a lot of trust. And it takes, truthfully, just knowing who you really are. You're an extension of Source. Your being is unharmable. I hope that this helps you guys with this full moon. I know it's intense. This can bring up a lot of heaviness. This can bring up a lot of things you've been trying to avoid. Just go through it. Keep your heart open. Ask the divine to help you. And surrender yourself. Surrender yourself to service to the Most High, for something greater. And you will be guided. You will be taken care of. And I want to share the conversation. My own example was not nearly as painful or difficult as I thought it would be, as the mind was telling me it would be. And that is the case so much of the time. It's not as hard and as painful and as difficult as your ego and mind is making it out to be. Once you're in the movement, it's like grace takes over, God takes over, your higher self. A higher force will take over as long as you're following your heart. When you follow your heart, you are supported in an unmeasurable way. You are supported beyond your comprehension. So trust that as you follow your heart and you share your divinity and you shine your light, that you will be supported. I love you all so much. I will see you in the next video. Namaste.